So what we want to talk about today is HST, the History, Science, and Technology components that go with the Common Core ELA standards. And specifically, I want to talk to you about how it's changed my teaching for the best, because this year has been by far my best year of teaching in a decade. And it's largely in part because of this. There's a lot of fear with HST, a lot of people who are afraid of how do I take what's not totally specific and put it into the social science curriculum. And so what I want to reveal to you today is I want to reveal to you the 3 easy steps that I took to pull this off. And so step number 1, know your targets. You've got to know what our curriculum is. If you don't know the curriculum, it makes it really difficult to pull this off. So you've got to know what the targets are for each unit. And the targets aren't always the textbook. So whether it's 6th, 7th, or 8th grade, the textbook is a great resource to have, but it's not the curriculum. It's not our targets. It's not what we need to use to drive our instruction. Our targets drive our instruction. Our textbooks are there to help us. The second piece, prioritize those targets. Take a look at them and realize that they don't all have equal weight. There are some targets that are far more important than others. And you got to ask yourself this question here. What do you really want your students to know? What's the thing that you want them to walk out of your class at the end of this unit and really remember and know? And then the third piece, which is probably the most difficult for most educators, is to kill the fluff. Kill the fluff. We all have those favorite lessons. Lessons that we've done for years because they're fun, they're interesting, they're different, they're cross-curricular. They're all the buzzwords of the last decade. But if they're not specific to the targets, we can't have them anymore. And so at some point in time, we have to just let it go. We have to kill the fluff. Kill those extra pieces that we don't really need anymore. And so what I want to show you right now is what the targets are for a unit that I've had to do in the last few months. The 7th grade Middle East unit here. There are 6 big targets here. Analyze the geography of the Middle East. Identify natural resources. Explain the history and practices of the 3 monotheistic religions. Explain the Arab-Israeli conflict and how it impacts the region and the world. That's a huge one. Analyze the development of democracies in the Middle East. Identify the role of the U.S. You could do entire college courses on each of these targets, but that's too much. So you have to prioritize. And so what we did was when we took a look at it, we prioritized it, and we came down to just these 3. Or just these 2, I'm sorry, just these 2. Explain the Arab-Israeli conflict, and analyze the development of democracies in the Middle East.